You're watching Oilersnation Radio.
Boys, we got a lot to talk about today. We got some news this morning. We got a couple of big dubs to talk about since the last episode.
Yeah.
We got Connor McDavid on a heater to talk about. First, I got to tell you about my friends at Odd Company. Nation Network is proud to partner with Odd Company Brewing to bring you the all-new Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for the next big game, like tomorrow. Next go-to lager. Or if you're going to a Sum 41 concert on a Friday night like me and you plan on having 6 to 12 of them. I'm not driving, Liam.
What are you eating?
Hot dogs.
I'll drive you, Liam.
I ain't going.
All right. Well, you got a ride if you need one. Perfect for the next big game or your next go-to lager. Find it at Odd Company, either of their Edmonton locations, or at liquorconnect.com, like a little search engine for the beers. Find it at a liquor store near you. And if it's not near you, ask why. Ask them to bring it in. It's delicious.
Who buys the beers?
I still have to buy the beers for Liam.
Why?
Liam for.
Why?
Because you asked for a kiss and I gave you one, and the reward was beers.
Did you guys bet again?
Of course, I knew I was winning.
Oh man, BM.
What? Like, what? I'm not going to bet on my team to lose.
Decent point.
Not with that record.
No.
Should have.
But if you had, you'd be a winner right now.
Yeah, Liam, you actually owe me 4 beers.
Can I guess a delicious debate today?
You want to guess it?
Yeah, I'm going to take a stab in the dark.
All right.
Vinny Desharnais, should he be an Oiler?
No, when will Matthias Janmark score on a goaltender this season?
Last night,
come on, don't take my cold performer.
That was a cool.
Last night,
why are you coming off so cold all this?
I'm a big Matthias Janmark guy, but there was that one play, and I guarantee you know what I'm talking about.
Clock
where
management.
his hands are bricks.
Clock management.
He's got legs for days, but hands none.
Hold on. If he had scored that goal, the clock would have stopped. When he went behind the net and ran into the wall, he was way better off.
It's like when an NFL running back won't run into the end zone, those go down at the 1. It's like, don't score, just bring it to the corner.
The puck bounced.
Felt like a Forrest Gump moment. Just keep running.
It's been bouncing a lot. All right, delicious debate for our friends at Odd Company.
It's bad ice in Colorado. We saw when we were there in November.
Yeah, that's true.
And the seats
He's
suck.
worried about this the skinny seats up top.
It's understandable.
Drive the net, goddammit, you're an NHL player. Figure it out. Anyway,
Why would you drive the net there? He's not Glenn Anderson.
And he's got no hands. He's got hooks.
I gotta
for
get to
hands.
the delicious debate.
Well, that was getting spicy. That was getting pretty delicious, if you ask me.
Delicious debate. Does Matthias Janmark have hooks for hands?
Is he Captain Hook?
His gloves are just screwed onto his wrist.
Yeah. They're attached to the shoulders. They move by the flexing of his shoulders.
The Edmonton Oilers made a signing today. John Klingberg, 1-year deal, $1 million prorated, and a $350,000 signing bonus.
So what does that mean?
So I believe, if I'm reading the Frank tweet correctly, that means he just gets it. It's not a performance bonus. He is just getting a $350K bonus that's not attached to his cap bit.
But it has to do with his injury too, though, right? Because it's not like Connor's signing bonus is like 12 and a half or whatever on July 1st. It's not like that doesn't go, that goes away. So this is some sort of thing, something to do with the fact he was injured and coming into this.
Yeah. The fact he was hurt makes him eligible to get bonuses like that. So.
Yeah, and I think that's where this comes in.
No, Puckpedia doesn't have anything. So we'll get to the final answer on this thing in a bit. But I guess just kind of on the surface, let's call it 1 year and a $350K bonus. Slap a letter grade. How do you feel about John Klingberg being Oiler?
Before I give a grade, can we have a discussion about it?
Yeah, sure.
Because, one, I don't understand the fit necessarily, but I don't mind at all a low cost, potentially high reward signing like this. I
Moves
just don't.
the puck well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, if this was 6 years ago, I'd be fired up right now.
I was going to say allegedly.
I don't know where he fits. Like, is Troy Stetcher that bad that John Klingberg, half of John Klingberg with surgically repaired hips is going to be that much better?
Troy Stetcher to me looks like he's staring down the barrel of a hand grenade every single time it comes towards him.
I'll give it an A if I never see Josh Brown again.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But Stetcher's looking like Troy Stetcher.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Over his career. Like that's why he was like a 6'7", and the fact he was playing 4'6" or whatever you want to say, 2-3 on the right hand side there. He was kind of fighting out of his weight class, and we got the most out of it. Thank you very much. We have someone there that we think can take those minutes a little bit more effectively and bring a little more to the team. And for $1 million, it's a swing. And yeah, I'm all for this.
I just don't know. I guess I just don't know what to expect from a guy who hasn't played in over a calendar year. The last game he played was November 11th, 2023.
I'd expect a goal against Washington in the 60-something game of the year. Isn't that what Brown was last year?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I think like this part of the season, you kind of like hope to knock some rust off. And by the playoffs, you kind of hope you get what you got out of Connor Brown last year by the time of the playoffs.
It's good to get this before the Four Nations too.
Get him in some games and all that. Yeah. Like my concern, I just don't see a world like we talk about, you know, what he used to be. He hasn't been that defenseman in 4 years or whatever. Like it's been a while since John Klingberg was that guy, 3 years, I guess.
You're not that guy, bro.
Expecting him to come in and be a guy who can handle top 4 minutes through an entire playoff run, I think is pretty foolish. And my concern would be that he shows well enough in the first month when he's fresh and he's moving well and he's the shiny new toy that he convinces this front office they don't need to do anything major to the blue line. I think that's a mistake. So my concern isn't really about like Klingberg, whatever. I think it's depth. Sure, I'm fine. My concern is that he's going to lull the Oilers into like a false sense of security.
So the last full-ish season Klingberg played was 2021-22 with Dallas. He played 74 games, put up 47 points. The next year in Anaheim, he played only 50 games before he was traded to Minnesota. So he had 67 total for 33 points. And then last year with the Leafs, he only played 14 games total and was out in mid-November.
I hear your logic, Tyler, but I would challenge to say that this is not the perfect opportunity for Klingberg to come in and showcase his talents. It's not like he's slotting into a power play one. It's not like he's really being counted on to do anything offensively. So if he does come in and blow our socks off, I would say that probably is a good sign for the team. I just.
But even everything you just kind of said there of like, you know, there's no offensive expectation. He's not going to play on the power play. But like, that's what he does best. So then it's like, why'd you sign him?
So that goes to my original question. I don't get the fit.
I've always said
he moves the puck better than Troy Stetcher.
Yeah, I've always said like Darnell Nurse plays best with a good puck mover, but like a good puck mover who's not just a puck mover. Like again, we always had the joke back the first time Klingberg was available a couple of years ago. It's like he's long Tyson Barrie. He's not good defensively.
I forgot that joke.
Right? Like he's not good defensively. He's not great in his own end. He's not great at defending off the rush.
Tyson Barrie was good defensively in his last year with us. It surprised everybody. I think he was on the PK. He was playing very well.
That was maybe a bit more out of necessity, though. Anyways, that doesn't matter. Like the point
he's
is,
going to be in the same situation where he's going to be in the Barrie type of spot when Barrie was doing that, because you're not taking Bouchard's minutes, and you do have a very capable defenseman right behind you that I think can eat some of those minutes if Klingberg doesn't have to come in and take normal second minutes when you have someone like Emerson who can eat some of them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like using Nurse and Klingberg is more of like a hybrid second pairing versus like a true minute eating, hard defensive assignment second pairing. It could work. Like I don't know. I'm just not. I want a better defenseman than John Klingberg.
I still think they're looking at a better defense. I don't think this is.
So you don't share my concern that if Klingberg comes in and plays well for a month, they're just going to be like, sweet, we're good.
No.
But I think that could have been true if we had called up a minor league defenseman and he came in and played well. They could have been mystified by this.
No, I think they're getting another guy anyways. And we've seen it before. You're going to need at least 7 defensemen. So when you do bring in the next guy, now your 7th is either Klingberg or Emerson. You're really confident with that. And then if you have to go to 8, now you're talking Stetcher.
Yeah, like if
Stetcher's 8, like I do not think the way they've been doing everything this whole year, I think has been leading up to getting that defenseman around the deadline. And I still think they're going to. Yeah. And then when they do that, we have 8 NHL defensemen. And that is big going forward.
And I do think Liam and I talked about this. They've been so lucky on the injury front the last couple of years. Like you usually do need 8 defensemen to make your way through a playoff roster.
Knock on some damn wood.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus.
You usually do need 8 defensemen to make it through a playoff run. So like, again, that's what I'm fine with it. If the plan for Klingberg, if they're going, he's better than Stetcher, he feels a need in the meantime, and he's our 7 come playoffs, happy. Good move. Good job. If this is, we legitimately think he can play top 4 minutes for the rest of the year, that's where I'm like,
Even if he does bank on somebody to play top 4 minutes has not played a year.
13, 14 months. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay.
Like even you see guys miss training camp, right? And how long it takes them to get back up to speed, like missing a full calendar year plus the double hip surgery. Whew. That's a tall order.
I don't see a lot of pressure on him. I think you're in a pretty decent area for your comeback. It's a defensive core that's pretty good actually. That can support each other. If the forwards are playing properly, we have a pretty good 5-man system in our own end when we're doing it properly. That I don't think there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. And it's either going to work or not work. And let's say it does work and say he does start eating up top 4 minutes. I still think you end up going and get another defenseman, but maybe more of a depth guy. Because then you're looking at if Klingberg comes out, well, Emerson moves up one and you got whoever else in at. Yeah. So I don't, if it was the end of the defenseman bringing them in, then yeah, I could see that's probably a bit of a gamble. I just don't think that's where we're at right now.
I also do wonder, maybe they do some experimenting. I've thought about that of like, maybe Ekholm and Klingberg work together. Maybe then it's
we only talk in like Borgs.
Yeah, they do their little like beep beep pop.
That's what Swedish sounds.
That's how Swedish people sound to me. Maybe you can jumble up the pairings and experiment a bit. I don't know. Originally, I was a C+ on this on ONE. I think I've maybe upped it. I'm like a B- after like, okay, 1 year, $350K signing bonus. It's like not like they overpaid or got whatever. It's a free bullet, no problem. It's depth, and I just hope it stays that. And
in a vacuum, I think it's like a B. And then outside of it, it's undetermined. It depends on how everything plays out.
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, just bringing that type of player in right now, I think you can give him a B. A B- is fine.
Liam, what's your grade?
C.
Yeah, I'm going with a C too. I think it's like a low risk, potentially high reward signing. I like that they added some depth without having to pay a whole lot. I mean, $1 million is nothing crazy. So it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just a wait and see.
Yeah, I think it's fine. He'll probably play like 8 minutes his first game. And that's kind of what it is. I think he'll just become a 6-7 guy.
Jeff Skinner's just like, how'd you get so many minutes?
I don't think it will change their plans at the deadline. I think this team is too all in to worry about that kind of stuff. That those like go get what they want. And also too, like the right shot market kind of sucks for defensemen.
And depth is always good. Like you guys said, sometimes you need different pieces in at different times. So who knows?
And just because he's older and his best days are behind him doesn't mean he can't do it. We're watching a forward do it right now that even you praised in the last show or two.
Who?
Corey Perry.
Oh yeah.
Corey Perry.
Yeah. That fourth line last night.
Fourth line was buzzing. I tweeted it last night and I maintain those 2 shifts in a row where they pinned the Avalanche in their own zone might have been Jeff Skinner's best 2 shifts as an Oiler. He was a dog on a bone.
Yeah.
I would love more of that.
I agree with you. I actually think like, again, that trio looked good. And with Jeff Skinner, I think it's just going to take a little bit, maybe even for the coaching staff to like, okay, reset your brain a little bit. Like the TV show Severance, season 2 is out now. Reset your brain a little bit, wipe it, and then just be like, okay, Jeff Skinner does not make $3.5 million. What is he? Maybe he's a fourth liner who scores you 15 goals and Perry's a fourth liner who scores you 12 goals. And it's like, how many years do we sit here being like, can you imagine if our fourth line could consistently score goals for us? Like maybe that's just what they are.
I'm going to go out and say that I was wrong on Corey Perry before this. He's having a great first half of the year for what he is now. Does he still make too much? Yeah, he does. But
yeah, like
ultimately
that's where
he's playing very well.
Yeah, like that was always my problem with it. It wasn't like, hey, I don't want Corey Perry on this team. It was just like, my beef was, dude, you made $100 million in your career. You're here to help us win a Stanley Cup, sign for league minimum. And like, that's the attitude. And we talked with Frank about this earlier in the week. That's the attitude I wanted the Oilers to have with Klingberg too. It's like, hey, we're not paying you and giving into your negotiations, blah, blah, blah. We're the Oilers. We're the prize. You want to play here? Here's the contract. Sign it. We don't care. We're going to win a Stanley Cup.
Do you feel that they did that with the Klingberg contract?
I think maybe a bit with the $350K signing bonus. But again, until I know how that works against the cap, I'm not going to judge it. But like with Perry, that was my beef. Not that he couldn't come in and keep playing. He scored at a really good rate in the regular season last year. My beef was just like, why'd you spend $300,000 on upping his salary when I didn't think you needed to?
But that $300,000 is next year.
No. It's his cap at 1 point whatever.
Oh, 1 point. It's 1.1
or something.
1.15.
And then with 300 something, they can go up to like 1.4 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that bonus the jump there, I think, is for next year. And the fact that the cap's going to go up $11 million. Yeah. $300,000 for a guy like Corey Perry that's good spending.
Yeah. I mean, he's producing, so it's fine. It's more of like a process complaint, not a results complaint.
I wonder if on the inside, if anybody had any idea that the cap was going to almost jump up double what it can
And it potentially
early.
could
And then
be,
you're
yeah.
like, well, we're going to start playing like it's gonna.
Yeah,
Going back
maybe.
to the immediate, the initial question.
Yep.
The delicious debate. Hit us up with your grade, your letter grade on signing John Klingberg to the 1 year, $1 million contract with a $300,000 bonus.
We don't know when it gets paid or
No, I keep
Where it hits.
refreshing Puckpedia, but they haven't tweeted out yet. So I'm waiting for some clarity on how that actually works.
Don't know. How
I'm too
much it's gonna
stupid
be
to understand the cap.
Bitcoin.
yeah,
It's just going to be cash.
it's a bunch in Ethereum, I think, and
Yeah.
I don't think there's
maybe
a
some
downside.
Dogecoin.
I'm still waiting for that Hawk coin to bounce back.
Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry.
I took a
It's
second
a-
mortgage out,
show up.
dumped it all in there.
Tennis ball NFTs. I'm saying it right now. Australian
Mhm.
Open. Look it up. 10,000 of them available at 90% the cost.
It's a good
Tennis
deal.
ball NFTs.
It's a good deal.
The
you gonna say
NHL
something?
announced their NFTs like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, what the hell?
They're
You guys are
right on the
really
ball.
so
Yeah.
Really
far
on the
behind.
cutting edge, the front edge
They're
of the trend.
always the leading edge on sports. Were you going to say something, Liam?
There just doesn't seem like a massive downside to this deal.
I don't believe there is.
I don't think so either.
Kind of is what it is. I honestly have,
Like if it really doesn't work, you waive them.
like what?
No, way you go.
What does it matter?
It honestly does just feel like it would be like we were sitting here complaining about the AHL call up that they did in January. I can't believe they brought him up and trying him.
Hand reveal.
Watch your hand, BM. It's on screen.
Yeah.
I feel so in a box back
we gotta
here now.
we gotta find a little piece of tape.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how far you can take it out there.
BM's waterline.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But you guys put me in a box back here.
Good content.
I'm stuck. So hit us up on socials. Let us know what you think. What's your letter grade on the John Klingberg
I wonder when he
signing?
plays.
Can I-
can't imagine. he
Oh,
plays
you want to guess when he
Saturday.
plays?
Not
When's the-
Sasaki.
When's the game after Vancouver? They're back at home against Washington on the
Tuesday.
I could see him playing by Washington.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I think that'll be the game.
Tuesday, Thursday.
It's all Thursday.
All right, let's open up the schedule here. We're going to take our guesses. Our official John Klingberg guess. So
Also,
tomorrow-
we've been keeping track of all of this stuff this year. Stuart Skinner got back to his his 900 save percentage. What game was that again? Damn.
Before
shutout.
Pittsburgh, the shutout, Boston,
The shutout got
Boston
him back
shutout.
up to 902.
So what day was that on?
Tuesday. In it.
But he went to
that was the 7th.
he hit
of
over
January.
900 before that. He just dropped it again.
I know. So what was that game originally where he went
Boston.
up? It was Boston, right?
Yeah, it was the 7th.
And then he fell back after Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
But that
Yeah.
doesn't count.
No, so it's when he hit it. So it's Boston and it's on the 7th.
Yeah.
7th, yeah.
That is
Way after me.
Are we doing closest without going over?
Yeah, Price is Right rules.
I win. That's a win for me.
mean,
Liam
no.
almost had it. Liam was technically closer, but over. So
What was I, the 8th?
you were the 4th and I was the 11th.
Oh, I
Wait.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
went over.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Okay.
You
so I
bust.
get a win there.
Liam
So I'll-
bust.
Pretty good at this guessing.
You're pretty good at it.
Liam did have a win earlier this year with the when does McDavid enter the top 10 scoring. So then this
Well,
one,
What's the date right now?
The 17th.
17th of January 2025 is 1:56 p.m.
I believe your guess for Connor McDavid was around today-ish.
New Year's
Something
Day.
like that.
Was it New Year's? I just remember being January. That's all
Yeah.
I really remember.
Okay. When will Klingberg debut?
Why you got to bring up a bad takes?
Okay. Can I throw a bonus one here?
Sure.
When will Klingberg debut and will he be in the lineup game one of the playoffs?
Okay. So we got two guesses to make here, gentlemen.
Wow.
So looking at the schedule coming up, we've got Vancouver tomorrow. That is in Vancouver. Then on Tuesday, we got the Capitals. Thursday, we got the Canucks back here in Edmonton. And then next Saturday, 2 p.m. matinee against the Buffalo Sabres.
So
Place your
stupid.
bets, everybody.
Stop giving us matinees at home on Saturdays.
Yeah. And no Friday games.
So they'll be able to. Actually, I don't want to run you through my process.
I'll say the 23rd versus Vancouver. I'll jump in and a no to game one of the playoffs.
I'm going to go the Saturday against the Sabres.
Okay.
And I'm going to say yes to playoffs game one.
Yes.
Washington and no.
Washington is on the
Tuesday.
21st.
Yep, that's on Tuesday the 21st.
And no. Dan Liam.
Well, we
Go
got to
ahead.
let Liam go last because he's got an extended process. He's
I say
we could not
Canucks.
hear it.
Canucks on Thursday.
And yes or
And
no.
no.
All right. So me and Dan are the same. Ooh, could each get a point.
We might have to have a
Half a
tiebreaker.
point.
Yep.
Okay, Liam, work through the process for us.
So running through
How
my
many
process,
shifts will he play in the
he
first
should
game?
be able to get a couple of practices in. And I think that's going to be very important for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to say the 25th against Buffalo, but to spread it out, I'll say Detroit on the 30th. And he will not play in game one of the playoffs.
Okay, I got a tiebreaker for you and Dan.
Okay.
Because you both picked the same day, the same playoff answer.
Okay.
The tiebreaker is minutes played.
In his debut or as an Oiler?
In his debut.
Oh, in his debut. I'll say 1430.
I'll say under. No, I'll say 9.
You can do one.
You can do 1429 then.
1429.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. There we go. We got our tiebreakers.
Or anything.
Yeah,
Like that,
There's our Klingberg guessing game.
So when does Josh Brown go down?
Is he
not
down
gone
right
yet?
now? How about right now?
Yeah, they have not sent him down yet. I didn't look.
Man, can I give, I'm going through some of our guesses from earlier in the year.
Please.
Biggest league disappointment. So mine's looking okay. I said the Islanders will miss and be second last in the East. They currently are. Dan said the Panthers may miss, not looking great. Rick said the Canucks.
That was a good one. That was a really
Tremendous.
good one.
Liam said Swayman.
Wow.
That's
That's
also
a
a good
great
one.
pull. And BM said the Devils won't do well, which still time.
I just think like people expect the Devils to go on a cup run, and I don't see that happening.
That was
I don't get it.
They were the number 2 team.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah, I
at
still think
the
the Panthers will
context
fall
of that guess is they were not going to be there.
We sat here and 2 of us, I believe, knew because we were looking at our screens, say we know who our number 1 and 2 are. One's Edmonton, who's 2. And we went through the room like 14
Nobody said
times.
Nobody said the Devils.
Also, all of us but Dan predicted the Flames to come last in the Pacific.
Season's
They're
not
still
over.
There's still time. Though they to be fair, the Flames, I watched the Flames game the other day. Huberto's having a bounce back season, so that's certainly helpful for them.
Yeah.
You know?
We did who gets more points, Arvidsson or Skinner?
Oh, geez.
4
Stu?
of 5 picked Skinner. 1 person picked Arvidsson.
Who would be?
It was
Yeah.
me.
Are you picked Arvidsson?
Yeah, I picked Arvidsson. I was the only one to pick Arvidsson. And we also did Nuge versus Hyman points. And that was split. Dan and Liam said Hyman. The 3 of us, Rick, BM, and me said Nuge.
Who's winning?
They got to be close right now.
Yeah, I guess
I'd
it's the
assume
injuries.
Hyman. Oh, he is out for.
Nuge has 26.
I was going to say put Hyman up by a couple.
Nuge has 26 and Hyman, they're tied.
Wow.
Oh, boys, we are tied. We are dead heat.
Legit. That
We're
was
so
fun.
smart.
Are there any other ones? Should we make some more?
I think we have enough we have a lot on the board. We have dry
And
settle
who knows
goals.
what's coming?
Yeah, Hyman goals.
These are like when you look into your 365 account, you have a bunch of futures though.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I need some live. What about today?
Skipping ahead, by the way, to the betting futures. I looked, the Oilers Cup odds today are plus 600. I don't know where you guys got them at for your preseason, but I was a lot juicier than that.
Yeah, 900 something.
I didn't do it.
You want to hear our
We
biggest
have little fates. Go ahead.
biggest Oilers surprise we all had to pick? I said Connor Brown will be good. Dan said Jeff Skinner will be good. Rick said Raph Lavoie will be a full-time player
Yes.
by November.
And how's he doing with Vegas?
What year?
I think
He's a
like,
full-time in
he has like
Henderson,
4
I
points.
think.
Yeah.
He is a full-time player. This is his job.
Liam said Henrique will have really bad totals.
That's pretty good.
I've always backed him to be bad.
And BM said Arvidsson will be good. Lots of goals.
He's starting to pick it up, so
Yeah,
I
he
still
is.
got time to hit that one.
Yeah, you
Hey,
do.
it's a whole season. This is like everyone getting upset yesterday.
Skinner.
You play
Henry-
60 minutes for a reason. You play
Come
80
on,
games.
come on, Jeff.
Sorry, the other reason I wanted to jump in there.
Cheer on the coach first.
Our friend Original Posar with some clarification on the Klingberg deal. So his $350K signing bonus does count towards his cap hit. But he says, my understanding is Klingberg receives his entire signing bonus, but the salary is prorated when
Right.
taken into account for cap. So he's prorated at approximately 50%, call it $550K, plus the signing bonus, $350K. So his cap hit will actually only be $900,000.
Now that's business, baby.
Oh, also because we butchered it 2 episodes ago, did you guys clarify the Kane LTIR stuff?
Yeah,
No.
they butchered it.
Yeah. We were relying
Can I
And then he came out a
explain
day
it?
later and said, sorry guys, here's the real reason.
May I explain it?
I would love if you
Here we
did.
go.
Because I've had to really dumb this down for myself.
I would love if you did. Thank you.
So the others essentially have 2 salary caps. One of them is the LTIR money, which should be Kane. Well, basically Kane's salary cap. The other one is the cap they've accrued. They cannot combine those 2 salary caps to make one mega salary cap.
Aw.
They are 2 separate. So they cannot make a trade that exceeds either of those salary caps.
But you can
they
make two trades up to both totals.
Bingo bango. That's it.
So you get your meat and potatoes in.
So we can't get the $8 million defense, $8 million defense, but we can get 2 $4 million defensemen, put one on the other one's shoulders and play them like that.
Yep, 2 in a trench coat.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Anything else you got over there, Tyler? A little sheet.
No.
All right.
I was it, right? I was right.
Until there's another correction.
Yeah, there's another clarification.
Yeah, the Oilers have a lot of.
So at this point,
I guess the question revisiting again, did the Oilers fuck it up?
No,
Okay.
we fucked it up.
We fucked it up.
in reality, I do believe the Oilers did very well in this.
Yeah.
I think the end of that tweet was like the Oilers were like ahead of the game here. I believe in that Puckpedia, the correction one.
Yeah.
I do believe somewhere in there they're like, well, the Oilers were actually ahead of the game here and very pro thinking.
There you go. We admit our mistakes, people. We're not perfect. Try to be.
I stand by everything I said that day too.
Yep.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Go on. Keep it going.
I can't remember who
Tyler
sings that
doesn't
song.
No, because now I'm seeing that bonuses get prorated the reverse way.
Yes.
So his cap hit might actually be 1.7 million.
Oh, Miley Cyrus.
Yes.
What?
You know what? Ask us next episode.
Yeah, we're going to need some clarifications.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then F.
Yeah, that's dumb if you give him that much money.
I'm sure that's not the case.
I
With the
believe-
way that everything's been handled this year, I highly doubt that would be the case.
Secondary delicious debate. What do you guys think about Stan Bowman? He's rooting around in the used DVD bin.
It's working so far.
It is.
Finding some gems.
It is.
Great analogy, though.
Hey, I missed those $5 bins. You found
Buddy,
some
those
beauties
are
in
good.
there.
I
There's
don't know what you
one-
find in there.
Like,
Saw one in Walmart, much smaller now.
it is a great sign when you look around and Colorado's like, God, our forward group's a mess. Ivan's playing. And the Oilers are like, who are we going to healthy scratch today? We have a bunch of good players. Like, that's great.
Literally right now, if you look at the roster, I think everyone would be pretty much happy with that going into the playoffs. In terms of forwards, we still have Kane and Kapanen to try and fix in there.
Yeah.
And then you bring in that other defenseman we were bringing in that everyone, I think we still hope. Now all of a sudden you've got a Klingberg or an Emberson not playing. Like this is
Pretty
pretty
good
good.
spot.
This depth.
They actually have depth. It's unreal. I don't know I don't know what to do with my hands. Not used to it. I want to look at the last two games though. Oilers obviously had two comeback wins over the Wild and the Avalanche. I want to focus specifically on the starts of the game. Any concern that the Oilers have just been so sloppy at the start of those last two games?
Yes.
No.
I kind of wish I almost wanted to lose one of those just for like
They
a
did,
slap to the
Pittsburgh.
yeah, but they didn't slap to the face, didn't wake them up enough.
I don't know.
You almost had to lose another one. I understand where you're coming from. I'm like, hey, good. They're going to come out against Chicago and smack them around because of what happened to Pittsburgh. And then we saw what happened. You're like, oh, okay, well, now they probably learned their lesson. No, they're not. Okay, well, this time they probably learned the lesson. How many times can we say they probably learned their lesson? They need to and it's contradictory because I never want to lose a game, but I want to see them lose a game with this and go, well, I guess we can't do that. But when you play against the Colorado Avalanche, you spot them 3 goals in the first period and you beat them 4-3. How do you tell that team in that room to do anything besides just go play your guys' game because you're better than everybody in this league right now?
So the reason I asked the question is I want to pivot it to tomorrow's game. Vancouver's on the mat right now. And I want the Oilers to flex the killer instinct of keeping them on the mat. I want them to push their head underwater, not throw them a life vest. And I feel like if they give Vancouver an opportunity to get a couple of goals and feel good about themselves, they can't just keep spotting teams 2-3 goals and then coming back.
No, they definitely can't. But I think a part of it too is since the Christmas break, they have played at home twice. They have just been on
Their
the
schedule
road.
has been nuts.
That-
Shout out to
they've-
Bruce McCurdy actually. For the
Yeah,
tweet last
that
night.
that map that he showed, the travel map.
Crazy.
And
I
like
think
8
it's-
games
yeah.
in 2 weeks in every
It's
single time
ridiculous.
zone.
Yeah.
3 out of 4.
They
Where that
crossed
was
the continent twice or something
Well,
like that.
see, like Ty said on the other show today, they went home for one game against LA, which was essentially just part of their road trip.
Yeah, more or less.
Home game.
You got to
was
sleep in
part
your
of
own
the road
bed.
trip.
well, they got to do their laundry real fast, sleep in their own bed. That was nice.
I think it's difficult to when you're just they're traveling terrible times, they're traveling all over, like we're saying. Like, it's not a good trend by any means, but I think it's a good excuse for it. And the fact that they're able to come back and redo it, it's not been a problem for the season, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a problem for like 3 weeks.
Devil's advocate, though, they're flying in the nicest planes and there's no waiting in the airports and stuff like that.
At like 4 o'clock in the morning. That sucks. It's not really about the travel itself. It's about the time it takes to travel and when you're getting rest, and then you didn't skate yesterday, and then your first time you're skating is your warm up for that game. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, and it was a tough game for them to go out and win yesterday. And I think, give them full credit, the start was brutal. The other part of it too is those teams they're going up against also want to win. They're at home. Their backs are against the wall already, but when you get into that building, because you're the road team, the home team always wants to come out. The one that I guess is inexcusable, if you want to put it, is the way they came out against LA. 14 shots in the first 15 minutes. Great for the over 20.5 shot prop that we had that game. But besides that, that's the only one I would say is, okay, you probably want to perform a little bit better at home, but the rest of them, there's a built-in excuse. I don't like it.
They didn't use the excuse, so hats off to them.
Yeah, they've responded.
I do like that they're past the excuses thing. They don't do that anymore. Tyler, what do you think about the slow starts?
It is annoying. Part of me kind of sits here and goes hey, this is going to sound dumb as shit because they're 7-1. This might be their slump. They're coming out of the gate slow. They're scratching and clawing their ways to these victories, coming from behind, all this stuff. They've been down 2-0 in back-to-back games and won them both. They were down to Chicago, came back and won that game. This might be them playing not their best hockey somehow, and they're still doing what they're doing. So it's concerning, but the fact they're showing us that they can just flip the switch and then come back on some good teams is just how can you even say here and be God, the slow starts? I tweet it every time. I'm another slow start. Here come you. And then they come back and win. And I'm probably didn't have to tweet that. They're fine. I don't know. I'm not concerned at all about it.
I feel like the game against Boston was probably their most complete game.
That was dismantling.
But I think that the problem there lies in the fact that maybe it was too easy for them, because then you come out against Pittsburgh, you come out against Chicago flat. Arguably the start against LA was bad, but I do think that the team kind of shifted into a different mindset against LA. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards more what Liam is saying, but I do think that this has become team identity at the same time. They bucked it a little bit in December towards the end, but this team to start the season had a couple of gaffes to start the games, and it just puts them behind the 8 ball, and it just seems like it's leached into the identity a little.
And I think it's on the coaching staff to fix it.
How so?
They have to they know their strengths and weaknesses of their team, and you got to take advantage of the strengths, and you got to try and minimize the weaknesses. They need to find a way to make sure this team comes out harder in the first 10 minutes, whether that be whoever's mom is bringing the snacks for the first intermission, they eat that before the game instead. I don't know, but you got to lose. You got to convince them that you guys are going out there for the second period right now to start the first period.
Yeah, maybe it is how try to build. Maybe it's not even a line that stays together, but maybe just an energy line to start the game. Then just go McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman on the second shift, even if you don't plan on playing them together.
Because it can't be Connor's line either, because they play so one level, and it's we're gonna come out and take care of you guys. We'll find your mistakes and we'll make the most of it. But the other team comes out flying against us. It's not the perfect time to have Connor's line out there, that giant line out there. So you do have to find some other line that's great at creating the momentum from a standstill.
The other thing I want to mention too is I was looking in the comment section of my articles that I wrote for both of those wins, and no love for the goaltending for the early goals, even though both guys shut the door after the bad starts.
I can't believe it.
Well, last night specifically, I would argue the first 2 goals were team goals against.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah,
let's both guys skate into the middle of the ice.
The unfortunate thing is very few people see these as team goals. They put everything on the goaltender, and anything before that puck leaves the forward stick is forgotten about, and nothing else matters. Now it's 100% on the goaltending.
So this actually kind of goes to Liam's point that he was talking about save percentage, because I wrote last night, nobody wants to hear this because an 880 save percentage is not sexy, but Stuart Skinner played very well against Colorado.
I want my goaltender to ultimately allow less goals than the other goaltender. That is the only stat that really matters at the end of the day.
And make timely saves. Oiler fans ask for that all the time. We get the timely saves yesterday that we needed to keep us in the game, and we're still upset about it.
Big timely saves yesterday.
Also, the goal. I know that the second or the first McKinnon goal wasn't great, but it's also I said, if Draisaitl scored that goal, we'd be sitting here being what a shot.
It's also Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah. Nathan McKinnon. Yeah. Why does people?
Guy can't score a 5-on-5 until yesterday.
Boots look bad there. It's one of the best offensive players in the world coming down on him.
Can I give you a theory?
Please.
Boucher actually didn't look that bad. He actually made the play and
He kicked off his stick,
kicked it
off
off
his
his
skate.
Yeah, he made that play. And McKinnon, just it being again one of the best players in the world,
Yes.
made a better play.
Yes.
He also had so much speed coming in on Bouchard too.
He's such a unique player, McKinnon.
Yeah.
Very much like power forward.
How were your mentions last night, Tyler? After
Oh,
squad
shit
two?
show. Absolute shit show, which is why I was having so much fun after the game.
That's because you had that one tweet. I'm going to assume that's the one that got all the attention. You're like, well, that was a great goal by Nate or whatever. And ooh, I think this one may be over. Something along those lines.
Yeah, but it's because I stand up for...
It made sense though at the time.
The reason my mentions are a mess though is because I'm a Stuart Skinner supporter, and I think generally there's people in this fan base who are way too hard on him. And whenever Stuart Skinner gives up one bad goal, it's the same 20, 30 people. I kind of recognize the names where it's like, oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, here they go telling me Stuart Skinner sucks. They didn't tweet a lot when he had 2 shutouts in 3 games. No. I wonder why they didn't tweet that much. It's because they cherry pick.
They probably weren't at home.
Whatever.
They were camping. Didn't have cell service.
Yeah, they didn't see that.
It's, the other thing, it's just so annoying. Like someone in our chat today was just like, what was his goals are saved above average? It's like, couldn't care less. Honestly, couldn't care less.
There was the one going around.
Baseball stats at hockey. It does not work.
So that analytics page or whatever put out from Data Driven Hockey. The headline of this graphic is best goalies in the NHL. I'll even put it on this screen so you guys can see it. Wow. Best goalies in
Once
the
again,
NHL.
I'm in a box.
Blackwood, Decord, Lankinen, Montembeault, Hellebuck. Okay, and then it's sorted by relative save percentage. Look to the left. Relative to the other goalies who've played for their team this year, minimum 10 games. That's just comparing these guys to the other goalie on their own team. So it's comparing Lankinen to Demko, Decord to Grubauer,
Who sucks.
and Blackwood to Wedgwood or Gorgiev. Like this is, and Oilers fans were throwing this around, being like, Stuart Skinner nowhere in the top 10, but look at the other Pacific Division goalies, could have signed Lankinen. And it's like, what are you people even talking about? And now you see what else is on my Twitter.
Keep going.
Roki Sasaki?
Did we get Sasaki yet?
Not yet.
Tyler told us we had a 60% chance. The other 40% is we get cucked again.
Mm-hmm. What else is on my Twitter? Porn. I use the For You page a lot.
For You page. I don't know who it's for. It's not for me, but sometimes I wander on in there and have a little look.
It's like the Wild West, man.
Yeah, there's a weird scene in there. The other thing I want to talk about from last night's game, Connor McDavid scored again. And I might do a thing for the website. I haven't decided if I actually want to put the time into it yet, where I go screenshot a bunch of old takes that he doesn't know how to score from probably like mid-December onward, where he had like 3 goals in 13, 14 games, something like that. He now has 5 in his last 6 games. And it's almost like he's doing it in spite of everyone.
He scores it when he wants to score. Or at least he can score when he wants to score.
My only problem with him and his scoring or lack of or whatever is just he's the best player on the planet. I just wish he was more selfish.
He's a little too nice.
Puckpedia has put out the cap hit.
All right, here we go. Liam, go ahead.
1.74 million.
That seems like a bit much.
That brings my grade down.
F.
Yeah.
1.74. That's over the year. So what do we owe him? That's over the year.
How is that 1.74?
Because I guess the signing bonus, because you gave it to him halfway through the year, you have to double it, not cut it in half. But the salary you cut in half. Weird CBA thing.
Just hire him at Rexall Pharmacy for the rest of the year and tell him his cap hit, his salary is whatever.
So what are we left with right now?
Who cares anymore? What does it matter, Rick?
So that's probably because Josh Brown will go down. And then if they were to like waive a Derek Ryan, they would be like basically right on the edge of being into their LTIR space. So now if they're looking to do something at the deadline, I think it's basically just Kane's LTIR space.
But it was only going to be one, we could only bring in one player at that amount anyways, right? It was 2 separate transactions at between 4 to 5 million or whatever.
No, Kane's $5 million in LTIR can be a $2 million guy and a $3 million guy.
Yeah, but we couldn't put the 2 things together, as Liam said.
No.
You could.
So this is part 1 of those 2 things.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I get you're not going to like the number, but if this was one of the moves,
that's dumb. That's dumb to spend. Again, it's just like you take that and then you take an extra couple $100,000 a Janmark and a couple extra $100,000 a Perry, and it's like, well, that's small. Well, that's small. Well, that's small. And then you add them up and it's like, oh, look, it's not small anymore.
The deadline cap currently would be 3.1 million, not including LTIR.
It's annoying.
Well, I guess it's still lots of play.
We'll see what happens,
But
right?
if it's even like,
because I remember, like,
1.25,
again, I'm thinking back to how Matthias Ekholm trades for me. The Oilers had no cap space that year and they figured out how to make a whopper. So I'm still holding out hope.
But does it not make you just want to be like, hey, we'll give you a performance bonus? Like push the problem down the road.
I totally would, yes.
But they therefore may go sign with somebody else.
What was it?
They may go sign with somebody else.
That's fine.
That's
then.
fine.
I
But that's the thing. Like if you say 350,000, you just have to double that because you didn't want to give you couldn't figure out how to give him a performance bonus. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's that simple, but
Well, it kind of is.
we're not sitting in the negotiations. You don't know how everything
pretend
is
we
going.
are. And you're Stan Bowman. And
I've never
the
been
other
through.
team-
I've never been through one set of negotiations.
I would like a role playing between you two.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'll be Stan Bowman. You be
Okay.
John Klingberg.
Yeah.
John, we're the best team in the NHL. We want you to be on our team. You have the best chance to make the Stanley Cup final and win, or you can go play for the Ottawa Senators. We're going to give you $1 million and a $350,000 performance bonus if you hit this and this or just this. John, what do you think? Are you with us or are you against us? Or should I book your flight to Ottawa?
John's like, here's this tweet from this user that said that I had 67 points once. So sign me.
I just think we make it a lot more simpler than what these things I imagine being. I am as someone who's never sat in one, so therefore knows nothing about it or nothing hard. I don't know any hard knowledge about it. I just think these things are a little more complicated than we think they are sometimes.
Either way, anybody adjusting their grade, I'm bringing it down.
Yeah, I'm bringing mine down too. It's a D.
I'll leave it where it is.
I didn't even give a grade and I'm going to say it's a C.
Dan didn't give a grade.
I was waiting for the money.
Yep. Well, now you know the cap hit and the money. The other thing that happened last night, wild when I heard Jack say it on the broadcast. Like I knew it, but I didn't think of it. The game-winning goal by Evan Bouchard was his first goal in 19 games.
Insane.
It's been a bit of a tough go for him goal-wise, but
He's
I liked
had so many chances to score, and he couldn't get anything to go.
But I liked after the game when he kind of said like, hey, like I teed that one up, sure, but like I took a little off it. He was like, I just wanted to make sure I hit my spot and it went in. And I think maybe that's a nice little momentum turner for him. Like,
You
yeah,
gotta know he can do that more often.
that's what I'm
Everyone's-
saying.
That's almost like his biggest pro is, you've got a bomb, but he takes, 15% off of it and starts sneaking it under the bar. You get a lot of praise out of that. You're like, oh, well, maybe I should do this a little more often.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I just hope the dam breaks for him because he had so many good chances. I'm going to say the last 2 weeks, grade A chances where normally he's burying them and it just wasn't going for him.
This team is just gradually getting better, and by the playoffs, you'll see it. It'll be
Even I would
much
say the same thing. Victor Arvidsson, the goal he scored last night, he wasn't getting those bounces in October.
good. I don't want him in October. Everyone's jacked up about the Jets and how their start went. Like, I don't want to be hot off the start. Let's wait and grow throughout the year.
Like they have the last couple of years, right? Peak at the end.
How have the Jets been doing lately? I mean,
Not great.
paying attention to them. Nobody pays attention to them. 6-2-2 in their last 10, in case you're wondering.
I think Connor Hellebuck still has more shutouts than he has losses in regulation.
He good.
That's
pretty good.
because he's the reason the save percentage in the NHL is so high.
It's true.
It's so high, isn't it? Like 890? What did you say the other day?
94. Well, lucky it's not 890.
Okay. The other thing I want to mention from last night's game, Brett Kulak continues to just be quietly fantastic. Tied his career high with his 6th goal. It was like a seeing eye slapper, half slapper from the point. Corey Perry, nice screen front.
That was gorgeous.
He looked scared.
He did look scared.
I'd be scared.
I'd be scared too.
I wouldn't even go.
That thing is almost face high coming at you from the point. Yeah, that's scary. Zach Hyman's already got the bubble. He's still got the bubble. Yeah. So anyway, Brett Kulak with his 6th goal of the season brings me to another little mini delicious debate, Tyler. Who is your pick for the Oilers' unsung hero so far this year? We're 46 games in. Something like that.
It's Podkolzin. I just think, coming in, the expectations weren't exactly all that high, but how good he is off the rush, how consistent and reliable he is with the puck. Like there's a reason he stayed in the top 6 despite not putting up gaudy offensive numbers. So I think Podkolzin, the fact he's got one more year, $1 million as well, like nice little value piece. It's great. And he kills penalties. So like all of it, he checks a ton of boxes.
Dan, who's your unsung hero?
I think we'd be really cooked on the back end if it hadn't been for Ty Emberson just being quietly solid and good back there. I think we'd be making a lot more transactions and a lot more Klingberg style moves.
I like that pick too, because Emberson really settled in after a handful of weeks where it just
Well, I think
took some
him
time
too.
to
He
get used to
just
it.
started where he started and continually gotten better. But I'm going to ride with Kulak on you there. He's done very well playing the third left defenseman, and he's also been very good moving up and playing the right side with Nurse. Very rarely can you find do you have yourself a situation where you can take your, third line defenseman, put him on the second on his offhand, and that pairing still, continue to play great hockey.
I'm sticking with Kulak too. I mean, he's averaging 20 minutes a night. His Corsi 4 is 51.5 if you like that. His ozone starts are mostly defensive, or his starts are mostly defensive zone starts, I meant to say. He's also on pace to smash his career highs in basically every metric. So I'm getting a little love to Brett Kulak. Who's your unsung hero, Liam?
Can I say Stan Bowman?
Sure.
Yes.
I feel like he's made, like we kind of said, like been able to bring in like smaller additions. To the
He's
team.
finding gems in the bin.
Like we thought we were totally screwed when the Holloway and Broberg thing came down, and to get Emberson and Podkolzin out of that, plus a few other picks here and there, like it's a nice little piece of business. And I know Kapanen is a waiver pickup, and anyone could have took him, but we did take him.
As a sneak.
Yeah, a lot of teams had a chance before us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It's like when I found the usual suspects in the bin at Walmart for $4.
That's a good find.
It's a great find. Sometimes you need to dig in the bargain bin, Tyler.
Mhm.
Got your core pieces set. Last thing I want to mention, the return of Noah Philp last night. I thought, well, I guess it wasn't last night. It was 2 nights ago. Sorry. What do you guys think of the 2 games of Noah Philp that he's played since being recalled? I said on Low Tide yesterday, I thought he was quiet and unnoticeable for the most part. And I said that as a compliment.
That's a good thing.
I think that's a good thing.
Quietly solid.
Yeah, I didn't like the penalty he took the other day, but for the most part, he's been good. And I think there's just, again, more upside there with Derek Ryan. Not that Derek Ryan was brutal by any means when he was playing, but again, if you're going to get the same thing right now, play the younger guy who has a chance to develop into something more.
Dan, what do you think of Noah Philp?
Yeah, I've just got patience for him. I don't think that it's enough of a sample size enough to really be able to say anything, but I don't disagree with anything Tyler said. It just got tons of time for the kid.
Liam, wrap it up.
Noah Philp is a good guy. And he will be good.
You don't know that to be true.
He tips
I
well.
would assume.
He calls his mom after every game.
Mhm.
So I think he's going to come to the lineup right now the way Emberson did at the beginning and kind of open, not knowing a lot or expecting a lot. And you'll see the way that Philp's game will just quietly get better the way Emberson has.
Let's talk some betting, gentlemen. For our friends at Bet365, Tyler and Liam, I encourage you to fish for something for the users of what you look for. The betting segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Oilersnation Radio. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use the code NATION. The code is NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We're going to play Guess That Line, but I've got a couple of different things for you here, guys, today. Starting off, Liam, the worst record in the NHL. I've got the odds for the 3 stinkiest teams, according to the betting lines at Bet365.
Okay.
Can you put them in order from the favored to the least favored? And your options are the Blackhawks, the Ducks, and the Sharks.
Well, the Ducks have got to be the least stinkiest. So I would say their odds are 3, I guess, right? Because you want to pick the worst one. It's got to be, I would think, Chicago, San Jose, Anaheim.
Liam nailed the order. Now let's guess the lines. So the Blackhawks are favored heavily to be the stinkiest team, Tyler. What do you think their odds are?
I'll say they're plus 125.
Dan?
Plus 200.
I'm going to go with minus 175.
Liam? Stinkiest team, Chicago Blackhawks.
Plus 125.
They're minus 115 to be the stinkiest of all stinkies.
That's great.
Sharks are next up at plus 110. And then the Ducks, like Liam said, are well off the pace at plus 1600 to finish dead last.
Losers.
So those are your 3 worst teams, according to the betting lines at Bet365. Changing gears, Alex Ovechkin chasing Gretzky. Does it happen this season? Yes or no? And what are those odds? Tyler?
I'm going to say yes, he does. And I'm going to say yes is like minus 240.
Dan, what do you think? Yes or no? And what are your odds and your guess?
I think, what did you say, Tyler?
Minus 240.
Minus 240?
And yes.
I'm going to guess minus 150 and I say yes.
He is at 874 currently as we're talking today.
I say he needs 20. He needs 20 to tie, 21 to break it. I say no. And the no is going to be minus 120.
Liam, what do you got? Has he hit it this year?
Yes.
And what are your odds?
Plus 120.
The yes odds are plus 190 for Alex Ovechkin to hit it this year. The
It's
no.
plus 190 for him to hit it this year?
Yes, sir. And the no is minus 240, Tyler.
Wow.
The minus 240. Finally, for our friends at Bet365, until the boys teach you how to find some sneaky good props, Oilers to win the Western Conference. They're currently tied for second with the Vegas Golden Knights behind 4 or 5 points back behind Winnipeg. I should have
4, I believe.
Rick, what do you think? Oilers odds to win the conference.
Plus one,
And it is 4 points. You're right.
plus 200.
Dan, Oilers to win the conference. They're 4 points back at the first place Jets.
I'll say plus 300.
I'll say plus 240.
Liam, what do you got?
200.
The Oilers are plus 280 to win the Western Conference. I'm going to flip the gears on you. Currently, the Winnipeg Jets, as I said, are 4 points up. They are currently in that one spot. What are their odds to win the Western Conference? Just the Western Conference champs.
300.
Who was guessing? Who else?
290
290 from Tyler. More
Plus
bids.
or minus.
More bids.
plus.
More bids. More bids. What do you guys got?
Plus
Dan?
350.
Winnipeg to win the conference, correct?
That's right. Yep. Currently in first, 4 points up on second place Oilers and Vegas.
Plus 150.
They are plus 800 to win the Western Conference, according to the betting lines. People don't think they're going to do it. Hot start, going to disappear.
Interesting.
Vegas would be plus 600, so
And what were we?
plus 280.
Wow.
The betting public believes the Oilers have got this relative to the other two.
So many numbers, I just get mixed up.
Did
Yeah,
you write
me
it
too.
down? Tyler, did
I
you
see
write
it
it
right
down that one time? So a bunch of shows ago, we said the odds are the Oilers win the Pacific. I went 100. I think you guys are around the 60 to 70.
I
Did
didn't
you
write
write
that
those
one
down?
down.
No.
No.
Want to get into the weeds with some props, guys. Like Liam found one the other day where it was the line on Stuart Skinner's saves was 20.5 and it was even money. So basically half the office, or at least everybody who heard about it, hammered it.
I tried to spread the word.
We all won it. Liam, I'm coming back to you for another sneaky prop that you like to look at.
Well,
Say it quietly so not everyone out there hears. We don't want the number to change.
this is not a good day for this, considering there's 2 games in the NHL tonight and they both start at 5. So
Perfect.
that makes sense for a Friday. I'm going to say Brent Burns to get a point tonight. Plus 150.
Who they play?
Vegas at home.
Tyler, you got a sneaky one or just even an approach to find a
Liam-
prop?
Liam's been putting me on these goalie over-under props recently. Pyotr Kochetkov of Carolina, his over-under is 22.5. Vegas has gotten 30 plus shots on goal in like 5 of their last 6 games. So I could see them putting up 25, 26 shots on Kochetkov pretty easily here tonight. So I like going with Kochetkov over 22.5.
Any other just kind of types of props you like to look for when you're digging in the weeds?
One thing I've been doing recently is just like taking Oiler, like Draisaitl, who I've done it with on back-to-back games, and just parlay his over for shots with a guy from the other teams, like did McKinnon and Draisaitl the other day, did Draisaitl and Boldy the day before, and like Draisaitl and the other team's big gun and the over for shots. That's been fun because then you usually get it, and I'll tease them down. I'll do 3 instead of 4 shots. So I'll get it at like plus 140, plus 150.
Liam, anything you like to look for specifically when you're weeding through the props?
I like to bet on goal scorers because they give you the best odds. So I like to kind of see what the matchups are, I guess. But like last night, I just bet on Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman to score.
Dan or Rick, you got anything that sticks out when you're thinking props?
I'm when it comes to betting, I like to do long-term props. That's my wheelhouse. So I have some
Futures guys.
if you will.
Yeah, futures. Yeah, sorry.
Rick, what about you?
I like to look at shots, but I also like to look at the shots for like the 1.5s. The 2.5s, I try and avoid it, like the 3.5s, or, Pasta gets 4.5, 5.5 sometimes. I like to stay away from those bigger numbers and see if you can't find a nice, valuable 1.5 shot prop.
Here's one
I
for
do
you.
like those.
Go
I'll
ahead.
give you one. Seth Jarvis plus 200 to score tonight. He has 10 goals in 21 games at home this season for Carolina and 4 in his last 4. There you go.
I like doing shot prop parlays where you tease them
Yeah.
down a little bit.
Yeah.
You stack them up. Those are fun because then you're just cheering for shots. and it's more chaos. I like those. So open an account at Bet365. Bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Let's wrap up the podcast with some hot and cold performers, gentlemen. This is for Brunch for Ben. We have got our tickets up at nationgear.ca. We're going to be raising some money for the Ben Stelter Foundation. That is on February 22nd. That is a matinee at Greta. Tyler, we're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have prizes to give away. We're going to have all kinds of fun. And this is an all ages event. So if you want to bring the family, tickets are available at nationgear.ca. Again, we're raising some money for the Ben Stelter Foundation. Starting off with our veggies as we always do. Coming to you, Nation Dan, in the middle of the order, your cold performer of the week.
Mine's just going to come from this week. It's all the people in the Oilers fandom that are just complaining about the playoff format and want to see it changed again. Just because we're playing the LA Kings for the 15th time in our history, and we've got a good rivalry going that is exactly why they created this playoff format in the first place. I just think that continuing to change a playoff format because you don't like the outcomes is silly. So those people get my cold performer of the week.
Also, if you're the Oilers and you don't like it, win the division.
Yes.
Then you won't play the Kings.
Yeah, also a great
simple.
point.
The Klingberg bonus thing. That's going to be my cold performer of the week because Gregor just tweeted another update and it's confusing because if they're in LTIR, then it's 1.74 million. But if they're not in LTIR, then it's only half of that at 875,000. So, I don't get it. And I wish the system was easier. So the Klingberg contract gets my cold performer of the week.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
So it is good.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I feel like
It could be 824. That's awesome.
It could be good or it could be stinky.
Who said that one again? I got to tweet some.
Yes,
Gregor.
It's Soft J. He's doing a rebrand.
My bad.
Cold performer of the week, Rick, for the Brunch for Ben.
I think I've said it before, and it's more than just 1 week, but I have an issue with the channel AMC. They like to play a lot of classic movies I really enjoy, and then they ruin it by taking out the swears. So you're going to put Scarface on, and you remove all the swears.
You cut out half the movie.
What are you you're putting on Goodfellas, and you're taking out the swears.
I watched
Just
Goodfellas
watch
the
the
other day,
movies on the internet.
It's just on. Like, it's not about wanting to watch the movie per se. It's that the movie's on, so you just kind of flick it on.
The man is keeping the industry alive.
Trying.
Give him a break.
Rick is keeping a lot of industries alive.
Oh, that's cold.
I also watched, I just realized we forgot to do Ask the Idiots too, so we'll do that real quick after. I also watched Goodfellas on AMC, and it's not the same movie. It's not the same movie. Liam, you're up. Cold performer of the week.
I was driving yesterday, and it was absolutely insane with the weather.
Yeah.
So
We were all waiting with bated breath as to what you were referring
like, it was crazy. Were you guys on the roads at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my good God. I was on the Henday. I couldn't believe it.
I was only on
Was it
I was only
one lane?
downtown.
I was in
so
City Road, so I was like, not too bad.
It was
I heard a truck jackknifed on the Henday in the West End.
Probably.
I was in there. I was in St. Albert.
I feel like that's an evergreen.
Yeah, that happens in June though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Are you thrilled? I'm not.
Snow squalls.
Squalls.
I
And
was
here, I thought
squalling.
Squalls was that from that song from Lil Jon from 2000, whatever.
Sorry.
All these female squall?
Mm-hmm.
No? I don't even know what it means.
I don't either.
My cold performer of the week is, it actually ties into an Ask the Idiots question we'll get to right after this, is drivers in this weather. I was driving to work today and I take the white mud in. You do not have to go 30 kilometers an hour on the white mud. You are causing more issues than you are solving.
Yes.
So please, just stay home.
I'm upset.
All right. Hot performers of the week. Liam, you're up.
Hot performer of the week. My friend Ira started a interior design company this week. I tweeted about it. So if you're looking for interior design, go check it out. She's really good. She's doing my house.
He's a hot guy.
Seems like
Rick, you're up. Hot performer of the
sponsored posting.
I don't know. Can we get something out of it?
week. Unsold ads.
You have like a cushion.
I didn't say what it was called. I can't remember what it was called. That's why I said it.
Rick, you're up. Hot performer of the week.
It goes to the players on the Vancouver Canucks. What you're doing to your fans right now is quite enjoyable from my point of view. And there's not a fan base out there that deserves it more.
The big guy is smoking hot.
Dan, hot performer of the week.
Well, you guys, anybody that's been in a meeting with me in the last 2 weeks knows that this is my hot performer of the week. It's the TV show Shoresy. As the guy running hockey fights, I probably should have watched this before I did, but I'm getting caught up before season 4 comes out on January the 24th.
show.
Some of the best writing in television. It's a Canadian television show, so what are you doing missing out on it? But just, I think probably the best male drama in my entire lifetime. So Shoresy.
You can use the word drama.
Yeah, it is.
Are you watching the same show?
How many times have you cried watching Shoresy? Because I can tell you it's more than a handful for me.
Never.
Like from laughing tears or regular
Emotional.
tears?
He's it is emotional writing. Some of the best writing out there. Shoresy, you get my hot performer of the week.
It's getting hot in here.
Hey man, maybe,
I cannot think of one scene.
Maybe you're just dead inside, Liam.
when at the end of
Yeah, I am.
season 1, episode 6, when Shoresy says they know they can't win the game, and he says, "Give him a show. Let's give him the lumber."
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Not a dry eye in the house.
Tyler, hot performer of the week.
God.
Roki Sasaki. I'm all in. He's my new boy. The Jays are trading for international signing pool money. Roki Sasaki, future Blue Jay. He's my hot performer.
Feeling hot.
Mine is a little different. Saw it today on Twitter that Hershey is discontinuing that horrible cherry blossom chocolate.
Wow.
You know that one that just had like the cherry and the goo that I haven't seen somebody buy those since the 90s. Pretty sure only my aunties are the ones that were keeping them alive. So I'm glad you got rid of that horrible chocolate. Nobody was buying it. You were just wasting a lot of money. It was terrible.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
Have they announced what they're going to do with all the leftovers?
Throw them in the dumpster where they belong. Because I'm an idiot, we're going to rip through Ask the Idiots real quick.
We could save it for Tuesday because we don't have a Tuesday segment anymore. We could flip flop.
Want to save it for Tuesday?
Do you want to bring back
Because we
Dan's
always
game?
end with.
Are we going to flip it?
Well, remember,
We flipping it?
well, because we always end with hot performers
flipping
on Fridays, but we never have anything to end with on Tuesdays. So if we just moved Ask the Idiots to Tuesdays, then we'd have an ender, a closer for each show.
I noticed you haven't asked for Dan's game to return yet, so
Yeah, Tyler.
So, anyways, my idea.
so ask the idiots
Or
on
do we
Tuesday.
like have them both on Friday?
Dan's game was awesome.
Let's bring back let's do Dan's game on Tuesday.
Okay.
Let's just rip through these real
Okay.
quick.
All right.
Sorry,
All
Ty.
right. For our nation vacation, we are going to Vegas and what could be a very meaningful game, March 30th to April 2nd. We are going down there. Nationgear.ca. We got a flight package. We got a no flight package. We just got a ticket package. If you're already down there and you just want to get tickets to the game with us, we've got all of them for you. This is starting to sell. The tickets and the trips are starting to move. Nationgear.ca. Join us in Vegas. It is going to be a blast. So let's rip through these. Tyler, you're first.
Okay.
This is from Will. What can you tell me about Josh Brown after watching him for 7 games?
He's very big and yeah.
Dan, what can you tell me about Josh Brown after 7 games?
I think you're watching the death of supposed enforcer. That's it. That's all I got.
Rick?
I would agree with you, but I didn't see him out there trying to enforce anything. So I think it was just, he was more bark than bite.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Liam, what'd you learn about Josh Brown?
I didn't learn anything.
He had a real nice body check.
I know what he is. He's a guy who's not a good NHL defenseman anymore. Oh, I don't know if he ever was. And trying to do things he's not capable of doing.
He are
And
what
that
we thought he
sucks.
were.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't want to like badmouth him too much because I think he ultimately played fine during his stint, but like, he's just not good enough to play on this team.
Didn't do what we brought him here to do.
No. Yeah.
He makes me miss the other Josh Brown. He's Australian. He used to work here. So I miss that Josh Brown. That's new one makes me miss the old one.
Crazy. He's the only Josh Brown to ever play in the NHL, though. Very common name.
It is very generic.
Then we had a radio station with 2 Paul Browns. Incredible.
Yeah, and they were on the same show.
Mm-hmm.
Liam, starting with you. Will the ever, this one comes in from Electronic Jordan again. So basically, the question is, will the Oilers ever win a first period again? He's happy the team can come back, but it's not a great strategy. Ultimately, he had some 2 cents from Electronic Jordan.
Will they ever win a first period
Yep.
again?
Probably not, right?
Yes, against Vancouver.
Yeah,
what I was
no,
gonna say.
I put my life on it.
Rick, they win another first period.
Wow.
I'll put Liam's life on it as well.
Dan?
I'm also putting Liam's life on it twice.
Yep. Liam, I'm also going to kill you.
I'm going to bet on it. I'm going to bet on it Saturday. They're going to win the first period.
What a crazy question. Come
We're
on.
supposed to bet the first period against whenever Gorgiev plays.
New segment for Tuesdays, live executions.
Yep. That is going to be a closer.
Especially in the summer. Well, I guess with Tuesdays, we don't do Tuesdays.
It might only be one closer on Tuesday if we're murdering somebody, but we'll see. Final question. Let's wrap it up. Rick, I'm starting with you. And this one ties to my winter driving complaints. This one comes in from Alan. Can we get the boys to give some winter driving tips for people in this city that don't seem to know how to do it?
If you can't do it, stay off the road. That includes your car. If your car can't handle the conditions, get it off. Just take the bus.
Yeah, just put on winter tires and drive the same way you usually drive.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Just be careful. I think that's the best way to do it.
Dan?
Take 10K off of your normal speed and brake twice as far away from where you would normally brake, and you'll be good.
Drive twice as fast. Don't brake at all. Leave your doors open. My actual answer is like, yeah, it sucks. But going 30 kilometers an hour on a freeway is going to cause issues.
A lot of issues.
Don't do that.
When the thing I found when I was driving on the Hendays with the road yesterday was obviously a lot crazier than usual. But like, if the conditions are like that, like I think it's safer not to just like rip by people on the highway because then the snow goes up and it's just like way more chaotic. Just like, don't be an absolute moron. How about that? That's my advice.
Fair
Don't
tip.
be a moron.
On either side of the brake or gas pedal.
Just think about it.
All right. Score prediction tomorrow, Vancouver. Liam.
7-3 like it was last time.
Rick.
5-1.
Dan.
4-3.
Tie guy.
5-0.
We've got a 9-1 win coming tomorrow night in Vancouver.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.